General Nabojsa Pavkovic lives surrounded by the memorabilia of a glorious military career.
Ovo je pištolj, ovdje piše komandant 3. armije.
It was an incredibly successful career.
To hoćete da ja pokazujem ili da ona snima?
Only 7 of these medals have ever been awarded in the entire history of the former Yugoslavia.
To je orden slobode, jedno od najviših odlikovanja koje se dodeljuje za uspješno komandovanje najvišim jedinicama vojske Jugoslavije.
At the height of his success, General Pavkovic rubbed shoulders with the most powerful man in the former Yugoslavia. Yet he later proved he was no crony of Milosevic. In the year 2000, Milosevic lost the election and tried to cling to power by ordering the army onto the streets. His general refused him, and Serbia moved forward to democracy.
Ne, to nije bila teška odluka, to je bila jedina odluka pravog vojnika koji je potpuno uz svoj narod.
The general's reputation as a professional soldier is now in jeopardy. The War Crimes Tribunal in The Hague has just indicted General Pavkovic for crimes in Kosovo. He's accused of responsibility for the death of thousands of civilians and the forced deportation of hundreds of thousands more.
Pa, ja ne mogu zaista prihvatim tu optužnicu obzirom na to da sam čitao života časno i odgovorno izvršavao zadatak. Služeći u toj vojsci, prvoj Jugoslovenskoj narodnoj armiji, a poslije vojsci Jugoslavije. I naravno to je nešto što je za mene potpuno neprihvatljivo.
It's late December and General Pavkovic is still a free man because the Serbian government is refusing to extradite him to The Hague. He's decided to run in parliamentary elections to be held in 2 weeks' time, so he's on the campaign trail. There are 4 accused war criminals standing in this election, including former President Slobodan Milosevic, who's been nominated from his prison cell in The Hague. It's an extraordinary development for a country supposedly on the road to reform. The crucial question is whether Serb voters will back these men at the ballot box. Today's visit is to a monastery. This place is of great significance to the entire Serbian nation and to the general personally. Inside this tomb lies the body of the famed 14th century Serbian king who unsuccessfully fought to keep Kosovo in Serbian hands. Ever since then, defending Kosovo has been an intrinsic part of Serb nationalism. General Pavkovic was the modern-day defender of Kosovo.
Pa mogu da vam kažem da danas ste imali priliku da vidite 2 kosovska junaka, mošti jednog koji je poginuo 1381. i jednog živog kosovskog junaka koji je dobio bitku na Kosovu 1999. u velikoj bitci sa NATO paktom.
Under the orders of President Milosevic, General Pavkovic led the army into battle. In 1999, Kosovo was a part of Serbia. But a war was being fought with the Kosovo Liberation Army, who wanted independence for the Albanian majority.
I ako je sada izgubimo, nikada nećemo imati. Ako nismo spremni da je branimo, onda možda i ne zaslužimo da imamo.
Kosovo Albanian civilians fled the Serb onslaught. As reports of atrocities against civilians emerged, NATO intervened, launching airstrikes against Serbia. In a brilliant strategic move, General Pavkovic built replica tanks to act as decoys against NATO missiles.
Bilo smo te makete i oživljavali na taj način što smo imitirali isijavanje prilikom rada motora, prilikom rada radara i tako dalje. Tako da je sve to na neki način dosta zbunjivalo njihovu avijaciju i onda su oni gađali te cilje.
While the Serbs were defeated and forced to retreat from Kosovo, General Pavkovic emerged from the war a hero.
Na kraju želim da čestitam dvojici generala koji su dobili najviše odlikovanja Orden slobode, generalima Vojdaniću i Pavkoviću.
Ona je rekla, vi ste gađali, bombardili moju malu zemlju.
Back at the monastery, General Pavkovic is getting special treatment.
Molim nešto. Napravit ćete uzetak zbog generala.
Samog.
Neku vašu rakicu.
Ništa, to mi znamo.
I'm told that a few weeks earlier the US ambassador visited, and while he was courteously received, he wasn't given lunch because the head nun is still angry about the NATO bombing. For General Pavkovic, it's a different story.
Tako kao izuzetna ličnost, stvarno je i čast da se dođe ovdje. Ja se posebno zahvaljujem gospodinu na čast koju je ukazao da dođe u vašoj rodbini.
Znamo kad mogu i ja hoću da pomoći.
Before he leaves, General Pavkovic is given a small memento from the monastery.
Ovo sve neka vas prati da sreću
Da
se čuva od, što kaže, od svakoga zla. A zlo ne miruje, ali ovoga smije.
Izborit ćemo se.
Izmiri ga to.
Dobro, idemo.
Evo, samo da se malo da ispomnem još.
Moje je posebno drago što te dođu.
Whether this is enough to protect General Pavkovic from the reach of international law remains to be seen. Here at the War Crimes Tribunal at The Hague in the Netherlands, they're determined to see General Pavkovic prosecuted. Chief Prosecutor Carla Del Ponte says it makes no difference that Serbia doesn't accept the indictment.
It is not a question to accept or not, because it is an international obligation. So the indictment was received. Now it is a question for the execution of the indictment. They must be transferred to The Hague.
Her pursuit of Serbia's wartime leaders has made Carla Del Ponte one of the most unpopular figures in Serbia. Her greatest success so far has been the extradition of former President Slobodan Milosevic in 2001, despite strong Serb resistance. The indictment against General Pavkovic is based on the legal concept of command responsibility. He's not accused of personally committing crimes, but rather being part of a joint criminal enterprise that organised them.
How close was he, do you think, to what was going on?
It was so close that it was in charge. He had a particular function, and he have daily reports that he received from what happened, and he give instruction, and that is what we will prove in court.
Kosovo is about a 6-hour drive from Belgrade. I'm here to see firsthand what General Pavkovic is accused of. According to the indictment, he was part of a plot to expel Albanians from Kosovo either by forced deportations or by instilling such fear they fled anyway. One of the specific charges against him relates to events that happened in the village of Izbica. Sadiq Jamali works in a local library, but back in 1999 he was a member of the armed opposition to Serbia, the KLA. On the 28th of March, he was hiding in the woods in hills above the town and witnessed a terrifying scene.
Lama sono tu comten, piesa linje sur la tête. Così fait il compo, quand tu veux, pour scopo bon sur canzoni lo. Lama sono sur la piesa di. O doc Victor.
After days of shelling by the Yugoslav army, thousands of people had fled their homes and gathered here in this field. Serb forces then moved in, telling the women to start walking to Albania.
Borat ik ordnungje mo bokai tu, en kit piesi kan executu 39 persona. 39 që të executum. Këtë janë të executum me pushka metaleza dhe me automata. Pjesën tjetër, është edhe një pjesë në uqaj aty.
After being divided into small groups, a total of 116 men were killed that day.
Këtë janë executu në qatë pjesë. Këtu ka qenë grupi 15 kufoma. Në gjallë kanë qenë 15, të ikun 15.
Sadiq Yanuzi was one of the men rounded up.
Neve na kanë bo aty rresht ka 2 dënudhe. Unë që na kanë pyet diçka, dikur na kanë shtinë kem gju kapuqat. Edhe u kanë ra me kom, me se plisave. Na kanë shoh. Edhe na kanë quhe, na kanë thonë, aty në vend, keni marakta me prekur bana, na do më prej juve set.
Miraculously, he survived because he was standing behind a friend whose body took the impact of the bullets and pushed him into the ditch.
Atë shokën e ka marrë dhe me gjallë. Ka lip uja aty natë. Unë e jëmë ra, edhe ty gjimuq aty. Veç këshër shakur, po vinë për zdyt. Për mësë. Kum ne 20 dakika, dikur e kum qukrit pak.
Dateline has obtained a home video taken a few days after the massacre that appears to support the stories told by witnesses and survivors. According to the indictment, scenes like this happened elsewhere in Kosovo as well. General Pavkovic denies the army was involved in the Izbica massacre.
Pa ja za taj slučaj sam saznao iz novina, odnosno iz optužnica. Znam da tamo vojska nikada nije bila u tom reonu. Znači, nismo imali nikakve angažovanje tamo.
So who could have killed these people though?
Pa ja ne znam da li je to tačno potvrđeno, da li su oni ubijeni tu na tome mestu ili su donešeni s nekog drugog mesta pa su tu sahranjeni, ja to zaista ne znam. Ali mora da se zna kakva je situacija bila. Dakle, i vojska i policija su imali slične uniforme. Puno je bilo naoružanih i Srba koji su imali uniforme posle rasformiranja teritorijalne odbrane. Moguće da se radi o razračunavanjima između, na etničkoj osnovi, između Srba i Albanaca i tako dalje. Dakle, ja zaista ne znam tu situaciju, ali sam 100% siguran da vojska tu nije boravila niti izvodila bilo kakva dejstva.
The consistent defence from General Pavkovic and other generals indicted for war crimes is that any incidents in Kosovo, if they happened at all, were not officially sanctioned and were the result of rogue forces. This is disputed by those who've investigated.
It's impossible to think that some paramilitaries, some criminals, some individuals committed crimes in Kosovo.
Natasha Kandic works for the Humanitarian Law Centre in Belgrade. She says there was a deliberate strategy of murder and deportation organised from the very top.
They had in their mind the main order. Kosovo is part of Serbia. We should expel Albanians and not allow Albanians to take our territory.
Just months after the massacre at Izbica, the Serbian army came here and dug up many of the bodies, taking them on trucks to Serbia in an apparent attempt to hide the evidence.
Transferring of bodies was, result of thinking how to escape punishment, how to escape justice.
Bodies from Izbica have since been found in 3 different locations in Serbia. General Pavkovic admits the army exhumed the bodies, but says it was part of an investigation.
Ja se sjećam samo detalja da kada smo čuli za izbicu i za tu masovnu grobnicu, da je komanda Prištinskog korpusa naredila da naši organi bezbednosti i ekipa sa Vojno-medicinske akademije ode tamo da izvrši ekshumaciju, da utvrdi šta se zaista dogodilo. Oni su otišli na teren, počeli su da rade, a onda su bili napadnuti od strane šiptarskih terorista. I morali su zbog bezbednosti da napuste tu teritoriju.
Were there any results from that investigation?
Da. Postoje ono što smo mi tamo utvrdili, to je zvanični nalazi naših stručnih organa koji se bave tim.
And do you know whose bodies they were? What happened?
Ne, ja ne znam te detalje zaista, ali pretpostavljam da su na tom mjestu možda donošeni poginuli sa raznih lokacija, pa tu sahranjeni. Zaista ne znam.
It's the final week of the election campaign and General Pavkovic is constantly on the road. If anything, the indictment against him has increased his popularity.
Moja žena što kaže moja žena uvijek vas obožava, slikala se na sajmu sa vama, kaže da se slikam, rekao, sad ću ja da udesim. Ste dobro?
International condemnation of Serbia's role in the wars of the past decade has left many Serbs feeling like they're international pariahs. General Pavkovic is the perfect antidote for a nation's wounded pride. The small left-of-centre party General Pavkovic has just joined is not overly confident they'll win a single seat in Parliament. But their star recruit has definitely boosted their chances. His supporters believe the pursuit of the general is sheer hypocrisy.
Amerikanci nisu krivci za Vijetnam. Englezi su ratovali na Falklandima 5-6 hiljada kilometara od svoje domovine i tamo potukli Argentince. Oni nisu zlikovci. Amerikanci su sad slistili Irak i njima ne sudimo ni u Afganistanu, ni Rusima zbog ovih stara, nikome, samo su Srbi krivci i samo Srbi nas tubu samo u Evropi i svetu.
Serbs are also angry that no one is being held accountable for the bombs that fell on their country. Estimates of Serb civilian deaths from the NATO campaign range from 400 to 1,000. This residential street in the town of Aleksinac, a few hours south of Belgrade, was destroyed after NATO missiles missed their intended target. Vukica Miladinovic was at home with her 2 children, her parents-in-law and sister-in-law when the missiles hit.
Imala sam utisak da mi se telo cepalo, bilo je strašno. Strašna detonacija. Rukama sam dodirivala oko sebe da napipam svoju decu. Dijana je tada imala 15 godina, Marko 10. Deca su bila hrabra za to vreme dok sam se ja borila da načinim otvor, da izađemo. Dijana je tetki spajala, tako reći, glavu sa telom, davala je veštačko disanje, vrištala, htjela je da bude živa.
Vukica and her 2 children were the only survivors from the family. Her husband, Bratislav, wasn't home that day.
Znači, to bombardovanje nije trebalo se desiti nikako. Nije trebalo se desiti na ovaj način kako se desilo. Mnogo je ljudi izginulo, mnogo je nevinih ljudi izginulo. Među njima i moji najmiliji, Zapadna alijansa kaže kampanja. To je bilo čisto bombardovanje, znači nikakva kampanja.
Aleksinac is General Pavkovic's hometown, bombed while he was away fighting in Kosovo. Today he's come to lay a wreath at the memorial for those who died. While many Serbs obviously remember being victims of the war, few remember that their government was also an aggressor. Part of the message that General Pavkovic is spruiking here is his version of the war in Kosovo. It's a version almost universally accepted in Serbia that doesn't mention the death of thousands of Albanian civilians.
Čovjek koji je časno, visoko profesionalno I hrabro odbranio zemlju od NATO agresije I sprečio invaziju na našu. Čovjek koji je zadužio Srbiju I čovjek koji je zadužio I Aleksinac, general Nabojsa Pavkovic.
Dame I gospodo, ja sam potpuno siguran da ni Vrhovna komanda, ni komanda 3. armije, ni Prištinskog korpusa, niti bilo koja brigada na Kosovu I van nije dobila, niti napravila I niti izdala bilo kakvo naređenje da se iz toga može dešavati zločin. I ne prepoznajem jer ja nisam bio na Kosovu niti vodio privatni rat. Niti sam se ja tamo tukao sa šiptarskim narodom I ubijali šiptare I proterivali. To nije tačno. Mi smo vodili borbu sa šiptarskim teroristima koji se ne spominju u optužnici. Ta strana u optužnici ne postoji. To je strana koja je izazvala sukobe, koja je uvukla ovu zemlju u sve ovo što se dogodilo. Iako je međunarodna zajednica kasno priznala da su to teroristi, iako vidite kako se najveće zemlje sveta bore protiv terorizma, nama to nije dozvoljeno bilo.
Haški gol napada nema, apsolutno ga opravdava. Ništa nije uradio što nije trebao. Znači, mobilisao je snage, patriotske snage koje su odradile svoj posao da zaštite svoje snage na Kosovu. Znači, da zaštite srpski, kosovski narod, apsolutno.
Despite this support, though, the reality of the general's plight is never far away.
Carla Del Ponte said she's determined to have him to the Hague. Is he worried by that?
Ne. Ne.
Why not?
No. For now, at least, General Pavkovic has the Serbian government on side. Prime Minister Zoran Zikovic.
Malo je tužno ili smešno da neko posle 4 godine podigne optužnicu zbog toga što je neko bio komandant vojske ili policije na Kosovu I Metohiji, kada svi znamo već 4 godine ko su bili komandanti.
When Carla Del Ponte came to Belgrade in October with the indictment for General Pavkovic and 3 other generals, the Prime Minister refused to accept it. It was a decidedly frosty exchange.
Kako se desilo? Pa desilo se tako da je došla bez najave, što je neobičajeno u odnosu na ranije dolaske I da je donela 4 optužnice koje su bile naslovljene na državu koja ne postoji. Naime, na koverti je pisalo Savezna Republika Srbija I Crna Gora.
The chief prosecutor did make a mistake. The country is called Serbia and Montenegro, not the Federal Republic of Serbia and Montenegro. But the tension here goes way beyond a blunder about the country's name. With an election coming up, the indictment was a political hot potato the government didn't need.
Učinila veliku grešku, da je stavila u izuzetno tešku poziciju, bez ikakvog razloga, vladu koja je najviše sarađivala sa Haškim tribunalom od njegovog osnivanja.
Hoćemo da više nemamo regionalne kauboje od Nenada Čanka do Nabojše Pavkovića.
This is what the government is worried about. 1 week out from the election, and the nationalist Serbian Radical Party is leading the polls. Its supporters are calling Carla Del Ponte Ustasha, the Croatian fascist group who collaborated with the Nazis. It's the worst possible insult. The leader of the Serbian Radical Party is Vojislav Šešelj. He couldn't make it to the rally because he's currently facing trial in The Hague. Šešelj is accused of heading up a paramilitary unit during the wars of the early 90s and is famous for his extreme nationalistic speeches encouraging the expulsion of non-Serbs. Šešelj and other infamous war criminals like Ratko Mladic and Radovan Karadzic are heroes at this rally, and the post-Milosevic reformist government is seen as traitorous for cooperating with the War Crimes Tribunal.
Kad brat brata izda, ulik sprženog sunca u zjenici oka progori. Glasajte protiv izdaje! Glasajte za Srpsku radikalnu stranku! Živio doktor Vojislav Šešelj! Živio doktor Radovan Karadzic! Živio general Ratko Mladić! Živio Srbija!
The party has vowed to never send anyone to The Hague again if it wins power. Its leader in Serbia is Tomislav Nikolic.
Ako je Slobodan Milošević kao predsjednik naše države ratni zločinac, onda bi trebalo svi predsjednici država koje su učestvovale u napadu na Jugoslaviju da budu u Hagu.
It would be a brave politician who cooperated with The Hague in this climate. In what are probably the government's final days, the Prime Minister is blaming Carla Del Ponte for driving Serbs into the arms of Šešelj's Radical Party.
Why did she put you in a difficult political situation? What was going on at the time?
Možda radi u izbornom štabu Vojislava Šešelja.
It's election day and General Pavkovic is getting ready to cast his vote. His future depends on this election. There's no doubt that whoever forms the new government will be asked to extradite him, and his fate lies in their hands.
I nisam ja taj rat vodio na nekoj tuđoj teritoriji. Ja sam bio u svojoj zemlji, u svojoj vojsci, branio sam granice svoje zemlje. Ja nisam bio u Holandiji da branim zemlju, pa sam tamo učinio zločine. Nisam zločine ako sam ih napravio, a nisam ih napravio. U mojoj zemlji može da mi sudi samo moj narod. Ja ne priznajem takav sud koji će mimo uticaja moje zemlje da mi se tamo sudi.
In the end, General Pavkovic didn't make it into parliament. As predicted, the Serbian Radical Party won the majority of votes. At party headquarters, celebrations are in full swing. The Radical Party won nearly 30% of the vote, putting them 10% ahead of their nearest rival. They won't be forming government, though, because the reformist parties refuse to go into coalition with them. Nevertheless, this election result is being viewed with concern internationally. Not least of all over the border in Kosovo.
Domethënë nuk janë peshmon për ato që kanë bën. Domethënë vazhdojnë njëtin avazë vazhdojnë të prapë. Domethënë edhe sot më leju të prapë vazhdojnë që ato që nuk janë ka kërkojnë falje ose ka i pinë peshmona. Serbia!
Serbia! Serbia!